Hi everyone, my name's Paul. I'm the Catalyst team leader for Morecambe Bay CMF, and I sit here on the sands of Morecambe Bay as we speak, with the tide out obviously. Hopefully that won't change anytime soon. And I just want to tell you just a few stories about what God's been doing up here amongst us. So we formed as a CMF group a year ago, and started with a couple of us in a pub, and then a few more, and really probably the same as you guys. We just wanted to see God move in our workplaces and explore together what that might look like and where we fit into that. And things were going pretty well. We were having monthly Saturday morning breakfasts with coffee and croissants and a relevant theme, and we were going for curries and we were going for walks in the lakes, and it felt like we were growing together, you know, as Christian professionals, doctors and nurses. And then lockdown happened and everything changed, and the tide came in, and all the kind of plans we had and our little system just went to tatters a little bit, and we were a bit disorientated. And but one of the things that came out of it was that we just decided to meet every week on Zoom to pray for each other, and just invited people to join us on Zoom just for an hour on a Monday evening. And actually God really blessed us through it, and he actually brought us closer together as a fellowship through that, I think, than in the year before. We really grew together, supporting each other, praying for each other, praying for each other's family and friends and colleagues, and we saw, you know, many answers to prayers. One particular example was one of the consultants in the hospital sadly contracted COVID and was very, very poorly, very close to death. And soon after she was admitted to intensive care, her friend, who's a CMF member, who's a Christian, just asked our group to pray for her and her family. So we committed to pray for her every week, and we fasted for them, for her, and we just kept it up. And it was difficult because things didn't seem to be improving. And at one point, they thought she might die. But you know, thanks to God, she recovered, and now she's 6 weeks post-discharge. And she's not a professing Christian, but she's so thankful to us for her prayers. And she actually said to her husband, "Do you believe in God now?" And I think, and this is something we never expected, because when we were gathering together to pray for each other, we just thought, well, let's just look out for each other, you know, in this lockdown. We just need to support each other. We didn't realise that God would grow us close together, but also through us have an impact on our kind of workplace and on our colleagues there. And the passage that came to mind, that has come to mind through all this, is where in Exodus 17, I think it is, where Moses is watching Joshua fight, I think, Amalek, and there's a battle happening, and Moses is praying, and he's got his hands up in the air, and he's getting tired, and as his arms start to fall, Joshua starts to lose. So, you know, his friends come up and they give him a rock to sit on, and then they start holding up his arms. But the key is that Moses needed to persist in prayer. And I think what we've learnt as a group is this idea of persisting, how important it is to persist in prayer and to be faithfully just turning up, even when the outcomes seem bleak, just to hold in there and keep our arms up in prayer. The word for that's used, the Hebrew word when Moses is keeping his arms up, is emunah, which is the word for faith in the Old Testament, and it's the word used for God's faithfulness to us. It's emunah to us, but it also denotes our faithfulness to God, and it basically means steadiness. And sometimes we think of faith as just a kind of intellectual assent to some beliefs, but actually faith is about holding on to God and persisting and holding on to each other and being faithful to each other. So I think this is something we've really learned as you know, as we've moved through this lockdown period. And so looking ahead, one of the things we're going to focus on as a group is trying to grow in our intimacy with God in prayer. So we recognise there's lots of Christians from different denominations and streams, but what we hope is what unifies us is our desire to want to connect with God and connect with Jesus and be in a living relationship with him. But it looks different for different people, and so we're going to have some of the 24/7 prayer guys are going to come and do a session for us in November, which you're all invited to because it's on Zoom, and really looking at how can we grow in intimacy in prayer, but also how can we grow in intercession for our workplaces as well, and how can we be a blessing there as well. So yeah, that's just a few things I wanted to share with you, but you know, that word faithfulness, emunah, that's steadiness. So you know, just to encourage you, just pray that God would you know, build you in faithfulness to Jesus and faithfulness to each other, and just the idea of holding the course and holding the ground, I think is really important, particularly if you're feeling a bit discouraged at times. Just keep going, keep holding those hands up. Thank you.